Who are you, really, when a machine can sound like you, look like you, and act for you? In this series, we'll explore how artificial intelligence is reshaping human identity, not just how we're recognized by systems, but how we recognize ourselves. Identity isn't just a name or a face. It's the story we tell about who we are, and the signals others use to trust that story. But today, those signals are being automated, synthesized, and sometimes stolen. Deepfakes blur the line between real and fake. AI agents speak in our voice. Biometric gates scan our faces, while social platforms curate our personas. So we begin here with identity, because it's the foundation of autonomy, agency, and belonging. And if AI can imitate us, we have to ask, what does it mean to be seen, to be known, to be real? Identity isn't just a label or a login, it's the fusion of two forces, recognition and narrative. Recognition is how others, and increasingly systems, identify you. It's your face, your voice, your data trail. Narrative is the story you tell about who you are and the story others tell about you. Together, they form your identity, not just socially, but psychologically, legally, and culturally. But here's the shift. AI systems now participate in both. They recognize us through biometrics and behavior, and they help shape our narratives, suggesting bios, captions, even rewriting resumes. So identity is no longer just internal or interpersonal, it's infrastructural. And when recognition and narrative are mediated by machines, we have to ask, who's authoring the self? Every day we perform versions of ourselves. Sociologist Irving Goffman called this the front stage, the curated self we present to the world, and behind it sits the backstage, the private self, the messy self, the unfiltered self that rarely makes it into the spotlight. But AI is collapsing that boundary. Platforms now suggest captions, filter our photos, and optimize our posts for engagement. What used to be a deliberate performance becomes a co-authored one, shaped by algorithms that know what will land well with an audience. At the same time, our backstage is shrinking. Notifications, tracking, and behavioral analytics pull pieces of our private life into the public sphere, often without us noticing. So the question becomes, when AI helps craft the performance and exposes parts of the backstage, how much of the self is still ours to direct? Identity doesn't stop at the edge of the body. It extends into the tools we use every day, our phones, our apps, our histories, our digital traces. Philosophers call this the extended mind, the idea that memory, decision-making, and even parts of our personality live partly outside of us. Today, AI accelerates that extension. Assistants finish our sentences, organize our calendars, filter our messages, and shape how we present ourselves. Over time, these tools don't just support identity, they participate in it. Your search history becomes a map of your curiosity. Your recommendation feed becomes a mirror of your habits. Your digital archives become a second memory. So when we talk about identity now, we're talking about a hybrid system, part biological, part digital, part algorithmic. And the more we rely on these tools, the more they become woven into who we are becoming. Identity depends on recognition, the ability for others to know who we are and trust that the signals we give off are real. But AI is destabilizing those signals. Deepfakes can replicate a face or a voice with startling accuracy, making it harder to tell what's authentic. Synthetic profiles can mimic human behavior so convincingly that entire networks of trust can be manipulated. Even verification badges, once symbols of authenticity, can be forged, automated, or spoofed. These threats don't just create confusion, they erode the foundations of social belonging. When we can't reliably recognize one another, trust becomes fragile. And when systems misidentify us, or identify us too easily, our autonomy and safety are put at risk. So the challenge isn't just detecting what's fake, it's protecting the very mechanisms that let us be known, believed, and understood. Autonomy isn't just about making choices. It's about having the space and clarity to make them meaningfully. And in an AI-mediated world, that space is shifting. Every time a system recognizes you, your face, your preferences, your past behavior. It begins predicting what you'll want next. Those predictions show up as defaults, recommendations, and automated actions. They feel helpful, and often they are, but they also shape the path you're most likely to take. When a device auto-fills your responses, curates your feed, or nudges you toward a particular option, it quietly narrows the range of decisions you actively make. Over time, autonomy becomes less about choosing and more about accepting what's been pre-selected. So the question isn't whether AI should assist us. It's how we maintain agency when assistance becomes anticipation, and anticipation becomes influence. Agency is the ability to act with intention, to shape the world rather than simply react to it. And in an AI-mediated environment, that line between acting and being acted upon becomes harder to see. When we delegate tasks to AI, it can feel empowering. Systems draft our messages, schedule our meetings, filter our choices, and even anticipate our needs. But delegation isn't the same as agency. Agency requires awareness, understanding what's happening, why it's happening, and whether it aligns with our goals. When AI decisions become invisible or automatic, our sense of authorship can erode. We start accepting actions taken in our name without fully realizing it. So the core question becomes, how do we stay intentional when intelligent systems are ready to act for us? Agency isn't just about control. It's about clarity, reflection, and the ability to intervene. Social trust is the invisible infrastructure that holds communities together. It's the belief that people are who they say they are, that institutions function as expected, and that the signals we rely on to navigate daily life are reliable. AI complicates that landscape. When synthetic media can imitate anyone, when bots can pose as friends or followers, and when automated systems can distort what we see, the basic cues we use to judge credibility start to break down. This erosion doesn't happen all at once. It happens through small moments of doubt, a video that feels slightly off, a message that doesn't sound quite right, a profile that seems real until it isn't. As these moments accumulate, trust becomes harder to grant and easier to withdraw. And without trust, collaboration weakens, communities fragment, and our sense of shared reality becomes unstable. Identity isn't just something we think about, it's something we practice. Every day, we repeat small rituals that stabilize who we are. The way we start our morning, the apps we open first, the messages we check, the routines that anchor our sense of self. Rituals create continuity. They remind us who we've been and who we're trying to become. But as AI systems begin shaping these routines, suggesting what to read, when to respond, how to present ourselves, the boundary between our rituals and the machine's rhythms starts to blur. Some rituals strengthen identity, others outsource it. And the more automated our habits become, the easier it is for our sense of self to drift without us noticing. So this slide asks a simple but profound question: which rituals still belong to us, and which ones are quietly being co-authored by the systems around us? We've explored how AI reshapes identity, how it alters recognition, influences our performances, extends our minds into tools, and even erodes the trust that holds our social world together. But identity is only the beginning. The deeper question is what all of this means for agency, our ability to act with intention, to make choices that reflect who we are, and to shape our own futures. As AI systems anticipate our needs, filter our options, and automate our routines, they don't just change how we're seen, they change how we decide. They shift the balance between what we choose and what is chosen for us. So this final slide marks a transition from understanding how AI affects who we are to examining how it affects what we can do. In episode 2, we move from identity to autonomy and ask how we preserve agency in a world that increasingly acts on our behalf.